really appreciate it, and I mean that. I know number one, it's Friday, right? I know number two that time is money. We always say that, right? I know there's other things that you could be doing. So just showing the effort, right, to be better at Charity Engine is awesome. I really appreciate it. So I'm Brian Moser. This is Bree. Bree, can you pronounce your last name? Bree has worked with me for almost 6 months now, and I still struggle with this. I'm so sorry about that.
You and everyone, it's okay.
Thank
It's
you.
it's Kosciuszko.
Kosciuszko. I love
Yes.
it. I love it. I'll ask you again tomorrow, I'm
That's
sure. So sorry. So just a few things. If you haven't been here before, Bree is here to take in your questions. She will interrupt me at any time, Bree, at any time. Even if you feel like it's not relevant, and the how you answer the question or ask the questions up behind the question mark. I believe it should be up in the top right. Right. Definitely, your cameras are off for sure. Your sound is off, right? So if you wanted to just like warm up your keyboard to make sure that's true, right? And if anybody here can just say yes in the chat if you've used Charity Engine for less than 6 months, it can be an individual answer, not an organizational answer. I'm going fishing. Is there anybody out there? Fair enough. This is really what it's targeted towards. This audience for this one, really.
We have
All
one yes.
right. I love it. Thank you so much. I really appreciate it. Really appreciate it. All right. Coming in now, right? For sure. Oh, I love it. I love it. Hey, James. Perfect. Okay. So this one here, you're going to receive a recording of the webinar. I'm going through some of the housekeeping stuff here for sure. You'll receive a recording. Any questions you ask that we don't get to, we'll get back to you to follow this up for sure. Not quite 6 months. I love it. Um, uh, yes, I see some familiar names as well. It's excellent. Excellent. So what we're going to do here today is focus more on some things that I see happening that I think are going to pave the way for us later then to really dive deeper into the application. But the first thing on my list is login stuff because, to be honest, if you can't get into the application, there's no really way you can see the power of it and understand it for sure. So I just wanted to talk for a minute about um, the login on-screen errors that you could see, right? So um, can I go on stage, share my screen? Thank you so much. I appreciate it. So I have these recorded right over here, right? But I just want to say this right off the bat, right, with this one. Okay. It says here username or password that you supplied could not be authenticated. That is 100% true. I promise you that. I promise you that. I know sometimes it can be confusing. Um, what can you do about that? Right? One of two things. It does say click here to recover. And then also we have trouble logging in. So when you click these, you can do one of two things or both, right? If you believe that the username itself is incorrect, you can. If you believe the password itself is incorrect, you can. I think where we run into some of the complications is the fact that we're using like some browser wizardry to save things, and I've seen that fail. I've seen it fail to not update passwords. Obviously, it's never 100%, so there's always something there to look into. But if you can overcome this message by yourself 100% by recovering these username or password, right? I just want to say that this one is solid for sure. So what happens if you continue down this road and you say, because I know it happens, I do it myself. It's human nature, right? So I'm like, oh, no, I'm gonna, no, right. It's this one, clickety clack, right? Failed. No, it's this one, clickety clack, failed. You're going to run into this error here, right? Which is that your account is currently locked. Right. And why are you locked? Because incorrect attempts to log in, right? Incorrect attempts to log in. So this one says reach out to your system administrator, right? So what actually, it doesn't actually say support, call Brian, right? I want to say that because there's an indication here that there is some self-sufficiency here as well. And I'll get into that in a minute. But just know that if you reach this point, after you reach this point, you will have to reach out to somebody else to get you in. You are currently locked, right? You're currently locked. But I want to say this because this is little known, okay? And should be little known to outside people, but people who use CharityEngine, it's okay, right? The first lockout is 10 minutes. All right, 10 minutes. It's not eternity, right? So, or even an hour, not even an hour, right? So the self-sufficiency model here is to wear it out. So if you are off hours, you do think you're going to go password hunting, and then you fail and you receive this message. It is a simple 15-minute wait. Close your browsers, reopen your browsers, log in again. And by log in again, I actually don't mean that. I mean click having trouble logging in. We don't want to go through this again. Okay. If you persist through this and keep trying, we're going to ratchet up the security. And then at some point, you're going to be locked out for sure. For sure. Any good application would do the same thing. Right. So understand that this is a warning. This is a warning to you. If you do 3, you're going to get punished. You're going to put in the corner. 10 minutes only. We're very nice. We're very gentle. But then after that, when you return and come back here, please don't do this anymore. Just reset it. It's okay. There's a password history there. You're not going to be able to use the same password you use, things like that. But for the efficiency of getting an application, go ahead and use the self-sufficient reset buttons here, please. Right. One that has become very, very popular, I'm going to show you here, is this orange one, right? So this says your account has been disabled for security reasons, right? So this does have our phone number and has our email on it, and you certainly can reach out to us. And just to say, you could reach out to us for any of these messages. I mean, that's what we do. Bree is our user expert. She'll get you in lickety split. And just to say, we take these as a high priority. Bree will reach out via phone to make sure you get in, right? So, but there's self-sufficiency here too, believe it or not. So what does this mean? What does this mean? So we added a new security component here, and it's down on the bottom right. And what it does is it constantly monitors your browser session for fraudulent type, spam type activity, right? So this means that you've done something to trip that off. But the key word there was browser session. It's a browser session, right? And what could trip this off? Leaving the browser open for some amount of hours that's extreme, right? Some amount of hours extreme.
Brian, may I interject
Yes,
real quick?
I would love you to.
I think we are not seeing the
Oh,
same
really?
errors on your screen. We
Yeah, because I can't view the whole screen.
Oh, okay.
Is that true?
We see, at least myself, like the need help, forgot password, forgot username.
Okay.
So we're
So
not seeing your
mhm,
orange.
mhm. Okay, I'm going to share something else then. Then it's only going to share that. I believe that's true, right?
And
Let
we
me
do have
see.
another question as well whenever you're ready.
For sure. For sure. Let's see. Apologies for the no, I can only do browser sessions. I can't do any applications here. My apologies. What can I do? You know what I can do 100%? I can create my own small little video that shows these, and I can send that out alternatively. But let me see, because I can produce some of these as well. Not all of these, and probably the most important ones, right? But I'll show you. I am saying the verbiage, so I want to tell you as well. I'm going to get back in here. The top one, right? Okay, and then just put that back on stage. Thank you so much. Let's see. I did say that the red message about not being able to log in. So this one should be easy to do, right? If I use this and I say next, and then I simply put in a password that's incorrect, I'm going to get here. Username password cannot be supplied or authenticated, right? Click here to recover your credentials, right? So this one, 100% we know is user-based in that. If I then say something like, I'll try again. Let me see if I can get it to go in like that. Yeah, there you go. So the account is currently locked. So I had probably some lockouts in the back already, but I'll show you some self-sufficiency on this, right? So let me just jump ahead 1 second. I'm going to deal with the other screenshots that I wanted to show you in a minute. but I'll show you this 10-minute lockout, right? So you can't, like I said, you need to reach out to somebody for help, right? So if I went in with my universal account here, and I went to the configuration area, I went to user accounts, and I just simply look for that account. Thank you so much for whoever stopped me, by the way. I love that. Okay, I love that. Let me see. Brian. Right, there you go. So you can see it's 2:11 Eastern time, so I'm locked out till 2:20. I just wanted to show you that, right? So here's the concept. I'm gonna jump forward a little bit. Here's the concept. The concept is that Bree and I work together. Maybe we work in the same office. Maybe we work the same times. Maybe we work in the same time zone. Maybe she's my friend. Could be any of these situations. If I can't get in and I persistently lock myself out and I go past this time, or I just need to get in for something critical, anybody who has this super user role will be able to just click right here and unlock you. And then now you'll be able to log in, right? So not only unlocking people here, but let me show you something. I know everybody should be familiar with the Help Center, but if you're not, here it is. I love it. This is going to be a user account. I think it's called user settings and administration, right? And we can send the link to this article, but you can see it up here and you can see what I searched for as well. So this article goes over how to self-service your user accounts with inside your own organization. Well, why would you want to do something like that? The reason that I brought up, which is CharityEngine is not 24-hour support, not yet. Right. So if you are working after our working hours, then there you can be fully self-sufficient and not have any user account errors. Not seeing it because it only shares the one. Yes, I'm not seeing it. Let's see. Boy, this is a big limitation that I didn't know would be here. I apologize for that. Let me copy this and I'll write it down. Then I need to get it to you. Let's see. So I have another tab. I should be able to share that one for sure. So let me do this. Let me share CharityEngine Help Center. And if you could just put that one on stage as well. Thank you so much. So here's the article we were talking about, right? User account settings administration. This walks you through how to do the basics. So what are the basics? You have a new user in your organization. It needs to be created. Please do so. Please do so. If you have a user who has a name change, you can come in and make a change to the name. If you have a user who wants to add their cellular phone, you can add your cellular phone there for the multi-factors, right? Users can be reactivated, users can be deleted, right? Again, the drive there was the after hours, but as well, right? There's a lot of timing that goes into effect as far as like when people are leaving the organization, right? Whether it's on good terms or not, right? To me, it doesn't matter. We're big on security. So, that timing effect, to rely on us to do something in a particular time period that might be like, oh, in 20 minutes, like close somebody down, right? There may be some difficulties there. So I would suggest taking this article and being in charge of that yourself. The IT department has to close down the email, has to close, whatever, right? So then you close down CharityEngine along with that. This article will give you those details for sure, 100%. You can see news user accounts here. I'm not going to go through the whole article, right? But I just want to let you know it's a nice article. It goes through everything you need to know, again, to be self-sufficient with user accounts. So take a look at it. I love it. I love the Help Center. If I go to the Help Center again, I'll bring it up on stage. I just love being there. Let's see. I'm going to go back to where I was at. So
If we can, regarding some of those login on screen messages. So someone asked if they have turned off email in their communication preferences, will they still get the recovery email delivered to their inbox?
yeah, totally. 100%. So there's a difference there and it should be known. A difference in how email is sent, the mentality of sending email. So we have the campaign mailer, which everybody should be familiar with, right? This is our official email send server. It creates handshakes to the email service providers. It paves the way for email delivery. It also then provides statistical return from the email service provider so that you can grab the statistics on that. Everyone knows that, the opens, the views, the clicks, etc. But if I simply click on Brian Moser here on this email, I can bring up this kind of SMTP relay send here, and I can send this off. So I get no guarantee in delivery here, but it's not the campaign mailer. It's not the campaign mailer. So the controls underneath the communication here are controls for the campaign mailer, right? So if I turn off email here like this, and I try to send an official campaign email, obviously I'm going to be groomed out of that list prior to the send, but it will not affect your ability then to receive any type of password resets. I'm just going to call them simplistic emails. You'll still be able to receive these simplistic emails here through the system. So it's a great question. That's a great question. Let's see. Is there anything else there, Bree, before I move on?
Nope, that is it, right? Oh, yeah, we couldn't see when you had communication preferences up. It's still just on user and email accounts.
Yep. Let's go here. It's crushing the way I use CharityEngine. I'm
I
a
know.
big tab guy. I love tabs. I got to stay in my tab. Okay, stay in my lane. Stay in your lane, Brian. Stay in your lane. Here you go. Here it is. Communication, right? Here's the email. So again, if we turn it off here, has no effect on receiving the passwords from the system. So anything else, Bree?
Um, we do have they said maybe at some point we could talk about what the different user permissions do and best practices if they would want to create a user role that isn't one of our out of the box solutions, perhaps.
Yeah, for sure. And I've been thinking about doing this, just kind of making this go twice a month. So at the top of the month, it'll be support department, whoever shows up here. It'll be us driving the agenda. And then I thought maybe on the second one, anybody who attends here could drive the agenda for the next one. So Bree, we're going to write that down. And
Absolutely.
we're going to circle back, and on the next one we'll address that. Just right off the top of my head, that is one that has a lot of granular effort to it. So there's going to be more of a presentation there than more of a walkthrough, but it'll be valuable information regardless. We'll take a look at it.
We've got you, Alfred.
I love it. I love it. Okay, stay in your tab, Brian. Stay in your tab. What else did I want to say about that? Because there was more about that. The MFA. The MFA is something we get a lot, right? So let's just be honest, right? I always tell people that we're honest over here, right? To a fault, sometimes. But here's what I see. So if you put your mobile number in into the contact here, you ask for the MFA, right? You may not receive it right away the first time, right? So there's like carrier rules. It's something new, right? It's an MFA. Newer phones have more security attached to it as far as what comes in. So if that happens and there's some delay, right, your first time around, or something happens and there's some delay your fifth time around, right? There is something that you can do there. So just to say right off the bat, if you're saying to yourself, I don't have my mobile number on there, you should put it on there. If you have a good reason not to, I can't overcome that. That's fine. It's a piece of cake. But it is definitely my suggestion, because then that gives you two methods to receive your multi-factor, right, authentication. So I do have my phone number in here, and it is my preferred SMS. Okay, those are the only two things needed. Those are the only two things needed in order to get the MFA to go to the mobile phone. And again, complete self-sufficiency here. So staying in my tab, if I go back, you'll see that the drill through looks like this, right? So we'll go from the user account screen. Thank you so much for staying with me on this login stuff, by the way. I hope there's some value here. I really wanted to show you that orange message. The other one, I'll get to it, right? I'll get to it. Here. So now this is the user and email accounts. So I want to add my cell phone. I click here. It opens up. I click here. I stay in my tab. It opens up my contact record where then I would add my mobile number here at the top, right? Once the mobile number is added and it is the preferred SMS, you're good to go. You're going to start receiving it via mobile, saying mobile is the defaulted first choice for multi-factor. The second choice is going to be the email. Here's the tip. Okay, here's the tip. If I go back to the login screen and I log in with this, I think I know what the password is here because I don't think that's it actually. Let me see. Okay, great. So it's going to send it to my cell phone, right? I pick up my cell phone, nothing in sight. Nothing in sight. I'm in a hurry. I got to get in there. I love CharityEngine. There's lots of things to do. Click here for a new one, right? Okay, I'm waiting. Nothing. Okay, click here for a new one. Nothing. But now I've displayed my alternate method, which is the email. So the second method is the email method. So now I can click on the email to get that, right? So it was 3 clicks, 2 clicks. It was 1 request and 2 clicks, and you'll get the alternate method, which is your email. Now I click on my email. I'm going to get the email message to my email with the MFA on it. Okay, so I think that's really important to have set up that way. I know I've had some clients say they just don't want to put their even some users say I don't want to put my mobile in there, and that is perfectly okay, perfectly okay. But it is recommended to do the MFA that way. What else did I want to say about that? I think that's it. So what I can do, I guess I just realized but I'll have to jump to the help center in the same topic. I think that's fine. So is there any questions about the login? Because there is one here I want to bring up. Let me see how I can do it. I'm really searching my technical brain now to see if I can show this to you here. Okay, bear with me. Bear with me. Okay. Okay. Okay, let's take a trip. I always tell people it's funny. I say, put your seatbelt on. We're going for a ride. 253125. Hopefully that's the last one that I received. Yeah, awesome. Okay. Let's stop here. Go configuration. We'll stop here. Stop. Admin. Put it back on stage, right? There you go. Just put that one back on stage. Thank you so much. I really appreciate that. Let me see. I'm going to go in with this one. All right, so I'm just going to upload this image to a creative and I'm going to add it. I'm sure we'll be able to see it that way with inside this tab, right? So let me go to our library of media. Maybe when I upload it here, we'll be able to see it. I don't have to put it in the creative. I can just click on it, right? So let's add here. Final name is Brian Test. Choose a file. Here it is. Because it opened in a new tab. Let me see. Gonna open it in the same tab. I'm gonna go back over here. We're getting there, everybody. Hang with me, please. There we go. And then let me see if I can open this in the same tab. We'll copy the link and we'll open it right here in this tab, right? We'll see if we can open it. Bam. Technology for the win, right? Okay, so this one is connected to the CAPTCHA, right? For sure. Again, the CAPTCHA has told you. I don't even want to say the CAPTCHA. Let's just forget CAPTCHA, right? This is about security. It's about security. So the security here has told you 100% that we believe you're fraudulent. You're trying to do some spams activity. Anything could happen here. The number of times you try to log in could pop this off. The amount of time you have the login screen open could pop this off. Thinking that you're in a different screen and just typing some gibberish into the username screen could pop this off, right? Um, the self-sufficiency to overcome this, because this is browser session related, not user account related, browser session account related. Close your browser. Close your browser. I know there's lots of tabs open in browsers nowadays. If it's not applicable to do that, you have to hunt and find. You got to find all of the CharityEngine tabs that you have open. If you close all of those, that should kill the browser sessions as well, and you'll be able to get in right away. Right away. The one that I'm seeing most when I talk to people about what their last action was nothing. I didn't do anything. It's just left open. It's left open. Right. So when you get out of CharityEngine, two ways I call it, close on exit, close on open. Right. Either way you want to do it. I'm done with CharityEngine for the day. I'll close it. Right. I don't close it. I leave it open. When I come in the morning, I'll close it first. I'll open it. I'll log into CharityEngine. I'll be on my way. Right. So tremendous self-sufficiency with this one as well. We're staying up to date with security protocols that large CRMs should do. Right. So this stuff I know can get in the way sometimes, but it's definitely 100% there for your security, for your protection. Okay. I'm so glad I got to show you that one. Thank you so much for hanging in there. I really do appreciate it. I really appreciate it. That was the last thing I wanted to say about the login. How long did that take? 30 minutes. Okay. Let me do something more effective here. I want to talk about sending emails, in particular, how we send emails, the audience, and then the audience selection, and then the vehicle to drive into the audience. So I'm talking about using lists. And I'm talking about using queries to send emails. So I don't know how many people use queries to send email, but I know sometimes it's something that may be set up in implementation. I know it's something that we may guide you on doing, and there's reasons to it. And I'll tell you the reasons, right? So just to stand on a ledge, and everybody should know this. I don't mean it like that. I mean, hey, everybody, take a look at this, right? If you go to contacts, you should be able to simply mine, right? So okay, there's a workflow here. I'm gonna slice and dice my contact data to receive a segment, and then I'm gonna select everybody and add them to a list. I just want to go over that really quickly to show how simple this process is, right? To get people into a list. So if I just wanted to add this person into a list and this person into a list, I could multi-select. The multi-select actions button comes up. I click that, and then I add to an opt-in list. And then the great thing about this is, we're constantly listening to user input. So this create new was added that way. So we'll create new. Now we can create the list on the fly, and then we can process it, right? That puts people into a list. Why? Lists are for reoccurring sends. It makes sense because I call it an area of interest. And the most generic one we could start with is newsletter, right? So the newsletter encompasses the general population, and they can usually get lengthy and long because we're trying to advertise a lot of general stuff that's happening over here in the past month, per se. When I read that, I totally know you're sending me a newsletter. So if I click unsubscribe, it's in my face. I can see, the newsletter is just getting too long. I don't want it anymore. I'll go find the news on your website. So then I can unselect and come and unsubscribe from that newsletter list. And it makes sense from front to back. If I use a query, that list does not exist. It's only the query. So if I go to unsubscribe, I don't really know what I'm unsubscribing from, which leads me then to some abandonment to the emails altogether. If I can't decipher what I should come in and out of on the unsubscribe screen, right? So that's one difference, but there's more. So if I use a query and someone does click the unsubscribe button, they're taken out of the query. They cannot get back in, back in because there's not a list. How are you going to subscribe them back? There's no list, right? So there's something else, right? And then another thing is, if you recreate the query, you've recreated all the unsubscribes. Everyone's back into that now, right? So you see how the query doesn't make sense to do a recurring send. It makes sense to do what I call a targeted send, right? And a targeted send is, I always give this example, and I'll come up with a new one. I'm a typical old man who has the same stories over and over again, right? You'll figure that out. I've signed up for your event, and you had some difficulties getting the extra large t-shirts. So now they're in, right? I couldn't show up and pick them up because they weren't in. Now they're in. How are you going to communicate with me? You're going to create a targeted list in the query that targets everyone who asked for an extra large t-shirt. You're going to send that one time, maybe twice, right? But the send is targeted to those individuals only. They're not going to click unsubscribe and try to come out of that list, right? They're not going to do that. They're not going to do that. So I really wanted to drive that home, because I do see people doing recurring sends from queries. And I know, as someone who receives those emails, sometimes it just doesn't make sense as far as like, what's my area of interest? So in the constituent portal, when you click the unsubscribe, you're going to see your areas of interest in your lists. This is another great Help Center article. I'm actually going to write that down, make sure maybe we send that with it. But I think the concept is clear there, right? Targeted sends versus recurring sends, right? So there's some tips and tricks with inside the query that I want to show you for sure. Let me just make sure. Yes, right. Advanced segmentation, right? Okay. So let me show you this. The example I used about the event, right? So this is where we stand on a ledge on that. If your communications is off, campaign mailer style, where I showed you a minute ago under the communications here, right? It'll load up in a second. Here, if your email is off here, not off here, off here, I can still send that email to you. I can still get that email to you because you've signed up for an event. You have silently accepted the fact that we're going to communicate to you with this event, right? We have to. I mean, we have to. What if there's a big example I use is, these, there's a wildfire somewhere, and we're supposed to be doing a big climb. Well, we can't do it. We have to postpone it. So here's how we do that. Just any query. I'm just going to use any query here to show you. Stay in your tab. Stay in your tab. Let's see. Okay, excellent. And like I said, this really doesn't matter. I can show you a little bit about the query in a second, but I am going to show you something about the query in a second, honestly. But if we hover over these ellipses, 3 dots, we'll call it the 3 dots. There's initiative settings, and then to advanced. And now we see these are 4 very, very powerful options, right? So disable the unsubscribe link. Absolutely, because I'm sending a targeted email. I may need to send a targeted email again. I don't want you to unsubscribe from the query. I don't want you to. I want to get to you, right? Auto suppress the query opt-out. So that's what I talked about. If I click unsubscribe, right, it doesn't matter. I'm going to do that. But with this off, it trumps that, right? And then auto suppress the contact opt-outs. The contact opt-outs are what I just showed you at the communication level. That's opting out of email at the contact level. And then this is opting out of email at the email level. So the individual email itself can be opted out of communication. So you can overcome all of those and save this, and you can send that targeted email, and people who have opted out said they didn't want to receive communications because they signed up for that event, they're going to receive this, quote unquote. Again, I stand on a ledge that there's no 100% delivery. That doesn't exist, right? But you're going to get much more successful delivery when you do things like this for your event sends, targeted sends. Okay. I'm not going to save this.
Do we have a moment I can jump in?
Man, we do have a moment. Brie. What's going on?
So someone asked, can you search for people on contacts to pull info on certain people.
Say it again.
Can you search for people in contacts to pull information on certain people?
Mm, yeah, I don't understand it 100%. Maybe if you can ask it again in a different way, but are we talking about the filtering? Right. So I'm confused at whether we're mining for information about a particular contact like Megan, or are
Mhm.
we saying we want to find out something about Megan who's connected to another contact? That was my confusion in my mind about
Sure.
what we want to do here. Right. Um, do we know? Does that
Not
person want to
yet, not
come back
sure,
in? Okay.
sure.
All right.
I
Mm.
do have a couple others if I can
Yeah, I'll show you something here, just
go
regardless.
right ahead.
And if I miss the mark, whoever that was who come in, just please let me know again,
Mhm.
please. So there's advanced filtering here, obviously, right? So on the listing screens, you are locked into contact data. Not 100% true. Not 100% true. But mostly only contact data. If I go to the transactions screen, I'm locked into transaction data. Not 100%, but most. Same thing's going to apply on every screen, right? This advanced segmentation here for the contacts is really powerful because it can then jump over into the transactional area and give you these gift amounts, total amounts, right? Where we can do something like this and say the most recent gift date is greater than $1. And then we can add another one, right? So this is kind of like query builder-esque thing, right? So then we can say, and the total amount, equals greater than 25. Something crazy like that. I'm
Uh,
not doing it for real.
I think it's on your other tab.
God bless it.
Thank you, Mary.
Thank you. Unbelievable. This is killing me. I'm such a creature of habit. I am so sorry, Mary. I'm so sorry. Let me grab it and bring it over here. I see the blue tab up there, everybody. Stop telling me that. Stop telling me that. Right there. That means we're sharing. Okay, I got it. Okay, so just back to the contacts. I say this advanced segmentation, right, has then filtering that can cross over into the transactional realm. I'm not going to do that anymore. I'm going to stay in my tab. I promise y'all from here on out. From here on out, I'm really going to concentrate now. So we can do like total amount, right, is greater than 25, and then we can add another filter, right? And we can say plus the most recent gift amount, and we can say and or, right? This is where we get the, I say, query builder type mentality, right? So most recent gift amount, is greater than 5. Right. So we can say they've given 25 total and their most recent more than 5, right? We're doing some advanced segmentation here, right? We're doing some segmentation on the contacts. I don't know if pull anybody back or not. But I just wanted to show you that you can filter this way for sure here. And then we have more filters here as well. Source app is a good one. Like I can view everyone who came in from a web form, Zapier, from the user center, right? These are creation types, right? Where were they created? Where did they come in from? Things like that. So gift probability, campaigns, map address, very generic stuff, general, very all stuff that you'll see that's on a contact record. So I hope I answered that question for whoever asked that. If I didn't, you can ask again, please. It's no problem. Go
They
ahead.
did, yeah,
I
they
love it.
did
I
kind
love
of
it.
rephrase.
Okay, perfect.
So in contacts,
Mhm.
trying to export emails on 10 people, how do I check their box to then export the email?
Gotcha. So this, I think, a report builder, right? So if I wanted to do, I think I am in here, right? If I just said, you said 10, so we just do multiple, right? So it's
Mhm.
like multiple here's, right? So it's like we want to get the thing is we want to get the people on screen. So there'd be some filtering. I'm sure you have some filtering criteria here first, right? So the workflow here is segmentation and advanced segmentation through the basic filtering and the advanced filters. And then it's reporting through the report builder, right? So that's the flow. And I can show you a little bit about report builder too if you don't have it. You can also just at your discretion, just export every field we have available using the export button. I think I'm answering the question correctly. So let me just see how many people's here. Oh, too many. Let me do search, Megan. How many people's here? 11. So close to the number that you had as well, right? So I have my 11 people segmented on screen. It's a very simple filtering segmentation, of course, but the concept exists. Now I want to export their email addresses, right? I want to touch base on this one more time because there's more power under this. So if I use the multi-select and select all 11, I just want you to view the menu of the things that you can do here, right? Add to a group, tag, list, unsubscribe, assign a solicitor, create activity, save in basket, right? I just want you to view that. So then it's like your mind kind of says, oh, okay, right? I can then come in and like play with this a little bit, okay? Because it is a powerful menu set from there. But I don't have to view all of these, right? So I'll use the report builder here, and you said email address. So I'm going to grab contact ID, full name, and then I can use the search here in report builder, right? So it's like email, primary email address, right? Primary email address, right? So now I have like a 3-field report. I can just export this without saving, right? And I don't know if I can download these or not with my super special login. It looks like I can. It's just an Excel sheet. So I don't know if I can share that because it's not on the browser window. But that's how you'd do that. You would export that, and then you would see the fact that you now have those 11 peoples with the 3 criteria that you asked for in the report. That's report builder in a nutshell. That's just report builder in a nutshell, right? Go ahead. Bree, did you have something?
Yes.
Okay.
We do have something regarding tagging, because I know you mentioned that in the little
Yeah, sure.
drop down.
Sure.
So if a list is created based on a tag attached to a record, will constituents be added, removed from the list based on when the tag is added or deleted from the record?
Darn, that's a good question, and I mean that from the bottom of my heart. The answer is no. I'm very blunt about that. But you know what we're going to do, Bree? Write that one down,
Hmm.
and then next time around, we're gonna show you that. That is usually our client's first automation is creating what's called a dynamic list, and it's over in our trigger section. And what you do is you'll do this. You'll do this. You will be on the people section here, and you will bring up exactly what you said. There'll be a tag, right? And you apply it, and you get the people to come down here in the tag like this. And then you take this. No, this is wrong. This is wrong. We need to go over Query Builder. I didn't really want to go in there too much, but I'm going. I'm not scared. I'm not scared. Let's see. Okay, great. I'm just going to create a new, because I want to show you that you can bring this tag back this way. I'm going to kind of fly through this, okay? Don't really, just know that the high level is the example you want to walk away with here, not the details. We'll touch details on the next time we come in, okay? So if I do contacts, that's what I'm trying to achieve, contacts with a tag, right? So continue. I'm just going to use my thing and say tag. It's coming. Tag has its own grouping. It's a good tip. If I'm looking for tag and it doesn't show up and I darn well know tag is there, it has its own grouping. And here it is right here, right? So, but there's nothing called tag underneath it. So I'm going to do tag and it's like IDs or names, right? So I think if I pull out names, one of these gives me a list. There you go. So I think I'll do the same thing I did. It'll bring up the same 2 people. So I have to have contact ID in here. It's something that I just always put in there. Then I can run it and I can see that these 3 people are here, right? So the idea is this. I'm going to save this query. I'm a terrible speller. Dynamic list. Okay. I'm going to save this, and then I'm going to go over to the automation, and we're going to look at the triggers, which is under workflow. Triggers. There is help center articles for all of this. I thought I'd be able to open different tabs, so I was going to like show you in different tabs. I'm not going to break my cycle here to show you the article. Trust me, it's there for triggers. I promise you. So now I'm just going to say like create new, just to show you what it does, right? So there's a um, contact list assign, I believe it's called. We'll see. Contact list assign, right? So the idea is now I want to perform this type of trigger job. What does that type of trigger job do? Let's self-explanatory. It's going to take contacts from your source and assign them to a list. That's what it's going to do. So I'm going to go next. I'm going to choose my data source, which is that query I just created. Then I'm going to go next. I don't even know what I called it. Brian, probably. No, maybe not. Doesn't even know if I saved it. I'm going to select my source, which I'm going to do on this one is to do this. Then I'm going to go next, right? And then you're going to see, here's your opportunity then to add your list. Select your list selection here. I'm going to put everybody on the bulletin list. Then I'm going to go next. Then I'm going to finish the job. When I finish the job, it's going to take that query and add everybody in that query to the list. Here's the automation magic. Once the trigger job is done, and I'm just going to go to a completed trigger job for you. Once the job is done, then all you need to do is take the finished job. It's going to tell you, hey, totally, we had 25, we affected 25, success. I'm a big double checker. I encourage you to be, maybe I'm a triple checker. I would go back and spot check a couple, make sure they're on the list. Sounds logical, right? I would take this and then I would put this on a schedule, right? When I click schedule here, I'm going to get the ability to name it, email it, to do anything, right? But this trigger is then going to this schedule. Then I think I have to save it to bring up the good stuff, right? Yeah, which is the triggers, right? So it's like, okay, the job finished. I'm here. I have it. Now I open up my triggers. The triggers are, how often do you want this to run? Daily, please. Daily, right? We have to have some consideration about how we're running these things, on what cycle we're running them, because there is a technical cost to running things inefficiently. So if we had to think about it, everybody who came in from, everybody who was created today can be added to that list tomorrow. So once a day here is my recommendation always for this one. There's going to be situations where you want to increase that, but we won't talk about that now. Right. But okay, great. And then if we needed to go back to that, I say that, right? So it's like, again, moving fast through here, bear with me, right? But I said contacts created yesterday get added to the list today. So we want to do a trigger of like every day at 7 a.m. so they can collect on one day and add on the other, right? But let me see if I can get back to any semblance of that query that I had here just by driving backwards. Inside the same tab, Brian, inside the same tab. Yeah, perfect. So I want to use, in order to line the data up with the trigger job schedule, I want to say date created. I call this the science beaker. I don't know. This is yesterday, alphabetical. Yesterday. So then I would save this criteria. So then every morning at 7 o'clock, that was my trigger scenario. Every morning at 7 o'clock, the trigger schedule is going to run this query and pick anybody up who was added as a new contact that day and put them into the list, right? It's a general list. It's a newsletter list. Everybody. So if you were created via admin console that day, just by someone manually doing it, if you were created via batch, transactional batch that day, you'll get added. If you're created through a web form, you'll get added. So it's a catch-all. It'll add people to a list. It's not going to take people out of a list. People need to take themselves out of the list by unsubscribing. So the list grows. People can unsubscribe. If you want to do some list cleaning later, you can, right? Okay, I think that explains that. I wish I could just whip one up and show you, but I'm not going to do it. I hope that makes sense. Can we get a heartbeat on that? Did that make sense? Was there any value to that for that person who asked the question? Because we can certainly reach out to you. If not, just let us know. I went off there for a minute, Bree. Anything else?
You're okay. That was very good.
Thanks. I appreciate that.
Would you like another, or did you want to move
Yeah, let's
to the
do it.
next?
Let's do it.
Sure.
I got some stuff to say, but let's keep
Okay.
doing this. I like this.
Okay. So Our friend here says I attempted to add some contacts to an opt-in list via import a couple months ago. This triggered emails out to everybody about being added to a list, which made people who received it concerned because it didn't look familiar. We are fairly new to CharityEngine, so don't really have our opt-in lists built up yet. We don't really want it to be in the face to our contacts that we've switched systems. I've been nervous about trying again because I don't want to send out these emails. Is there a way to build? And then it may have gotten cut off.
I completely understand.
Okay,
No
thank
worries.
you.
There might be a character limit there, maybe. I'm not
There
sure.
might be.
I'm not I'm not up to speed with this technology yet. Okay. Yes, I'll tell you. That is on. That is on by default. And the reason that is on by default is because it is protecting your list and increasing your engagement through through the amount of people that you can get to, right? So what I'm saying is there's a way to only send to verified emails. And this is what we're talking about. This is email verification. So if I'm created here in this scenario, in this query, clickety clack, I go, I'm automatically going to receive that email. I'll show you how to turn it off. I'll automatically receive that email. And when I click and I say, it's me, it lets people know there's somebody else on the other end. So that's a way to up that guaranteed delivery. Again, there is no guarantee on delivery, right? But there's a way to up that. So if I only want to send to verified emails, I know that my percentage of views and conversions and things is going to be higher, right? Than if I'm sending to, let's say I take a list and upload it from somewhere else and put it in. I don't know. I have to like go hunting, right? So I send it to that list and I see who failed, who had response errors, right? I groom that list and then I can send again. So the verification is important. I believe so. I'm going to show you how to turn it off. All right, so stay in the same tab, config. And I want you to actually first, okay, first I'm going to do this. I really wish I could have another tab because these help center articles are great. Everything people are mentioning here, we have in an article. The articles can provide much more detail than I can provide here. Right. So I just encourage you to go and look. I think this article, Bree, if you could look it up on your side, I think it's the monitoring email article. Is that true? Or
Let
no,
me.
the art of sending. The art of sending, right? Either way, I believe it's under the contact settings. Okay, contact settings. Nope, that's not it. That's why I want you to get that article, Bree.
I'm getting there.
Let's see. How about account settings, right? CharityEngine is really the same across all the modules. So general settings in general, you usually find some stuff here. Let me see. Do, 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 do. I'm going to the help center.
Yeah, did you say it is the one that's mastering the art of?
Yeah, the sending, right? I think I just put verification into the, nope, I can't do that because I spelled it wrong. Let's see. I know I'm not showing, everybody. I know I'm not showing. I'm looking for that article. I'll get it to you. Huh? Okay. Email deliverability best practice. Yep, got it. So should be able to go back. I'm crossing my fingers. I'll be able to go back here. We'll paste it up. Email deliverability best practice. This is validation. It's one of these. No. Oh gosh, maybe this is actually not the article. Nope, that's not the one. Let's see. Let's see. Mastering the art of testing and sending campaigns, Bree. Does that sound right? That is a
That could,
fancy name. I love
I
that.
know.
Let's see. A/B testing, personalized messaging, monitoring performance, compelling content. I am really scrambling now. Let's see.
I see how to manually validate email addresses.
Yeah, that's important, but not right. Let's see. Assisting helpful resources to assist with email deliverability and best practices. This is the article 100%.
Gotcha.
Okay. Can I tell you what Bree and I just did is absolutely no different than any of you can do. It may seem like we're fumbling around, but we don't know, and you're not going to know either, right? So it's important that you look in these fashions, right? So Bree and I could be any two people, right, inside of an organization looking for a help center article. They don't jump out at you right away, especially when we have titles like this, but the content is there, and we have it here now, right? So it's like this. This is uh, understand whether a particular email address is in your database, higher or low risk. Anytime a new email address enters Charity ecosystem, owner gets automated, right? So this is email verification. So we'll click on this. It'll take us here. Double verification, config campaigns default settings, right? So I knew it was a settings. CharityEngine usually works that way. So can I go back to get into CharityEngine? I never use one tab. I love that. I love that. Okay. Campaigns, right? Campaigns default settings. And here it is. Deliverability. And then you can turn both of these off or just one off. So it was the, what did we read on the article? Which one it was? It was the verification, right?
Yeah.
Right. So then you can just turn that off. So that was a long journey. Thank you for holding in there, but we got it. And this is where you turn that off. Feel free to do that as an organizational choice. I gave you the benefits of it. I showed you the article. You can please go read about it, make your decision, and do whatever you'd like to do. All right. And if you have some feedback on that process, we can take that. I think we have a place in CharityEngine. We can give feedback, just generic feedback. So just give that feedback. I think we can do it in the help center, right? Is that true? I did another tab, guys. I did another tab. God bless it. At least I caught myself this time. Here we go. I'm going to bring this to you on screen. My apologies. It's the campaign settings. It's campaigns. And then it's deliverability once it comes up. And then it's email verifications here. Ours are off. You can turn yours off as well, right? So please, whoever asked that question, if you have any more questions about that, let me know. I want to make sure I've directed you because I could have easily answered it very quickly. I want to make sure you understand what it is, how it works, and where you can turn it off. Okay.
She does say thank you. So
I
I
love
think
that.
good
You are
job.
welcome. Perfect.
And
Okay.
just to let you know, our previous question, she answered that yes, it did answer her question, or it was helpful, and she's going to be following up with an email to us. So that is wonderful.
I love it. I love it. Where's she going to email?
Clearly, it's support at
You got
charityengine.net.
it, Bray. You got it. Okay. Let's see. What else do we have going on? Any other questions? I'm loving these. I'm loving these. But
I do have a follow-up question from our friend that asked about if they were trying to export the emails on 10 people.
okay.
They asked how would they get those 10 people they want out of the thousands that are in that contacts database.
Yeah, that's totally up to you. Right. So you're starting your journey into database segmentation. Once you start, don't stop. So you're telling me you need to mine your database for these 5 people. There's a specific reason for it. So the database might not hold that reason right now. You may need to, it's 5, it's 10. You may need to individually bring them up and tag them one at a time. But now you have them tagged with something that makes sense and they're segmented from everybody else. That tag then can grow over time. That tag then can be added to a list. you can start, emailing these people from that tag, like we showed with the dynamic content, the dynamic list that we did, right? So there's no real way to do it. I call this what you know. So whenever you're using like Query Builder or exporting data, right? So like I could do a report for you, and I could say this report looks great because of the filtering criteria, but that doesn't mean that the report is right. You're going to look at it and you're going to be like, oh, I know some things about my donor base. And those things that you know are going to stick out and point out, right? So the answer to that question is very difficult. So if it's 5 individual email addresses, that's all you have to go after them manually. Once you bring them up manually and segment them, then you're gold. You're good to go. If it just so happens someone said, can you get those 5 email addresses that I put in the system through the transaction batch last December? It was batch ID. So we have that data. We can mine that data, use our filtering, whether it's in contacts or in um, Query Builder, to then pull them back in that manner, right? So if you have data that matches the filtering, use the filtering to bring it back. If you don't have that data yet, you'll have to go hunt and peck until you can segment the audience correctly and get it sliced up. I hope that makes sense. I hope that makes sense.
And this is a little off topic, but if people do have a case or two in with us,
Mhm.
um, is there anywhere they can go to see that case that they've submitted to us and maybe who it's assigned to or what is currently going on with it?
Yeah, for sure. So again, I personally feel like I'm a good listener, and I feel like it's needed, in the position we're in over here. And the feedback that I got personally was that the alerting system that we have is just a little aggressive. So we've done some things to tune it down, but right now, Bree and I are just basically turning it off. Right, so you're going to receive very little alerts about the cases, right? And what do I mean by alerts? Okay, if I add a file to your case, you're going to get an alert, right? It says file added to case 69. Right? If I add a note to the case, you're going to get an alert. It says a note was added to this case, right? What we like to do is communicate through the email. We believe that people work out of their email box every single day. And if we want to get their attention, we need to put it into their inbox in front of their face. That's my opinion. If I'm wrong about that, everyone can chime in the chat. Like I said, I love to listen, right? So we're using email delivery and email communications on cases in order to resolve them. Having said that, I, I, I love the fact that this question was asked. So yes, 100%. Here under the headset, support tickets, all support tickets. This is a consolidated location for all of them that you have. Very simplistic stuff going on here, very simplistic stuff. But what can you do here that's valuable? You can create a new note. You can view priority wise your cases. You can come here and you can see what's the latest note on the case, right? To me, this is how you do this. This is how you do this. I used to have a mantra called chasing alerts, chasing alerts, so it's like, oh, I got something in my email and it's like, oh, yeah, about the case. Okay, I'll respond to it later. But, we all know how it is when that sucker goes off the bottom of the email screen, right? Like where, right? It's like kind of like foggy now, right? Okay, so then come here and manage your cases this way. You don't have to chase those alerts around, right? So like if you want to stay on top of your cases every single day, you can do that. Come here and see if there's anything new going on, right? You just basically manage. Oh, same tab, Brian. Same tab. I know, right? I know. I know. You basically manage this and you'll see it's some very simplistic stuff here, but I keep saying simplistic on purpose. There's only the cases are about resolution, guys and gals, about resolution, not about looking pretty. You know what I mean? We need fast, efficient, effective communication, and this is how we achieve it. You'll notice that we now, we only have 3 statuses. We have open, closed, escalated. Couldn't get more simple than that, right? Couldn't get more simple than that. But you can see here there's 7 notes on the case. right? If you want to go ahead and hit a new note, you can hit a new note. You can add the note. When you add the note here, it alerts us that you put a new note in. We go there, we take a look and see what you're saying. Files, I hear people say all the time, I can't upload the screenshot. I can't do the thing. So I sent it to you directly. You can from here. You can upload anything you want from here. You just have to add a new this way. Choose your file. It'll upload. When it uploads, we'll get an alert that you uploaded a file. We'll come take a look. Right. So, Bree, that's great. Thank you for that one as well.
And a follow-up, if we can.
Mhm. For sure.
Someone asked, so this part that shows the support tickets, is that just for all is that I can't read, I'm sorry. Is this just for your tickets or all of the users at our company?
Yeah, all the users at the company. But so this would go back to that like user role thing. I think you can segment these, but through my support tickets, so people can only see that and then not all, if that's what the concern is, for sure, right? But yes, if you click my support tickets, there'll be a segment of only the tickets that you've entered. If you click all support tickets, you'll see all the support tickets in the organization. Right? Was that the root of that question? Keeping those two segmented?
So if I were to click on that in my CharityEngine, I would just see the tickets that I had open, not necessarily the ones that you also have
That's
open,
correct.
even though you're in my same company.
That's correct. That's
Gotcha.
correct.
Okay, yeah, that looks like that was what they were looking for. Thank you so much.
Bam, bam. Got another one. Got another one. Let me see. Okay, let me say something for a second. Let me say
Please.
something for a second. I just wanted to show you this because this is something that is really neat. And again, little known, should be known. Brian.
I'm going to get a virtual ruler to hit those knuckles.
I know. This is just shows you how like ingrained I am to like my work ethic. I know everybody out there knows exactly what I'm talking about too, for sure. I'm going to click search. What did I want to show you here? This is receipting. I want to show you the receipting, right? So the first thing I want to say is that when you create a donation form with the CharityEngine wizardry, we can do it. Right? Add new donation form. Donation form. Oh, very pretty. Continue. Come on, CharityEngine. Thank you. The email component, I did nothing there but click the create new. The email's ready to go. And by ready to go, I mean just the facts. Just the facts, right? Just the facts. We'd leave it up to the organization to then take it and make it their own. Logos, colors, fonts, right? But I just want to show you that it's ready to go. So its send acknowledgement is on yes. There is an email message here. If I manage it, you'll be able to see what it is. If I manage it, you'll be able to, it keeps going to a new tab here because it's set to do that. Let's see. Void. That's great. Okay, I'm going to open it in a new window. I'm going to copy that URL. I'm going to put it in this window. I'm going to override it. And away we go. Yeah, so the template is called standard donation email. I got news for you. You can't edit it. It's not editable because it's a shared template between lots of clients. This is how we lay it down individually like this with, like I said, just the facts. Just the facts. We see its transaction name, whether it was occurring, your amount, right? Name, address. This transaction ID is like your receipt ID, payment ID, etc. Right. So I just want to say, when you create a form, this is good to go. If you were in some urgency, this is a fine receipt. It's a fine receipt, just not tricked out, right? So then you would want to use the WYSIWYG then to enable this to then have a presence from your organization. But I'm going to show you how to then do it, because I'm going to show you where these live, right? And that's important, really important. So I also want to show you that you could do new. And why would you want to do new? Because you want a new receipt, right? But you want a new receipt, you know what you're doing. You're going to start from scratch. That's what new is. right? When you hit here and you hit here and you say new, it just creates you a new template that's blank, right? It's going to open me in another tab again, so I'm not going to show you. But if we go through to the configuration, these live in what's called the design. I know it's always at the bottom. Design and messages, and it's templates. Let me show you another little pro tip here, right? So if I know what I'm looking for because I've been here before, right? It's templates, right? And then I use the magnifier and templates show up, and design and message templates is what I want. Once I click on it, and once I click on it, and I'm really bad about this. You see how locked in I am to my workflow, right? But I'm really bad about like pins and recents, but they are wonderful. I see people use them and I'm like, why am I not? Why am I not? But I'm not. It's just my style, right? But here's design templates. It'll stay there as your recents. If you want to pin it, then just pin it. Now that it's pinned there, you should be able to go and find it wherever you need to find it, right? In the pins here, design messages, there it is in your pin, right? And then you don't have to worry about that busy screen. You can always get back to it immediately from over here, right? But we're here now. What type are we looking for? I'm going to tell you what type we're looking for. And again, there's a Help Center article on this one. It's a good one. It's a good one. We are looking for receipt and acknowledgement messages. Okay. And then what class are we looking for? We're looking for the system class. And we hit search, and we're going to see there's a lot here just because of this is a demo environment. I don't know if you'll see that. Yeah, I guess you would see these set because they're the system set. Maybe I'm not 100% sure. But standard donation email, there it is. This is the one, right? That was on the form. So all I need to do is come over here and duplicate it. Right? I duplicate it. Now it's a custom. It's not system. So I need to remove the class here and do a search, and it should be the first one on top, donation email copy, right? So then we're going to manage it, and the first thing we're going to do is change the name right away. Don't let it sit there like that with copy, please, please, please. Okay. Excellent. I'm a big saver. I'm just going to save it. Now, when we go into manage content, we're going to see just the facts. We're going to see just the facts. But now we're free to make changes for whatever we want to do. If we want to insert an image here for your logo, you totally can do that, right? If you want to change the fonts, you totally can do that. If you want to input HTML here, you can totally do that. You can totally do that. Obviously, between editors, there's always some consideration for cosmetics, right? But if you know HTML and you're typing it, it should be a piece of cake to overcome. So I just wanted to let you know that as well. You could create it in some external editor. Okay, excellent. So then, what is the tips and tricks here? As far as like the power, right? It's the one thing I wanted to show you. Okay, so we have this saved. Let's just make a change here, right? So I want to add a new token here. I'm going to go to my token picker. And then these are the tokens that are available. These are system-based tokens. This is what we have, right? No need to ask if we have another one. If it's not here, we don't have it. You can put in a case that says, please add this token. We'll talk about it for sure. But I'm going to show you a way to overcome this system token set through customizations, right? This is a very effective thing that CharityEngine has going on, right? So very effective in the fact that we can create custom tokens from receiving from a query, right? You see how powerful, every time we say automation, power, it's query, right? So I encourage you to use it, test it, play around with it. Okay, these are the system tokens. This is what you can use. I want to add organization, address, city, right? This is my organization. It's going to put the city of my organization in there. No big deal. I'm going to save it. Oh, I'm not showing it again. Apologies again. And I feel like I'm overstaying my welcome here. I know we took a bunch of questions. I love that. So maybe we suppress what I show here. We will. I'm going to drive to the customization. I want to show you something really important. Not through the query, through the web form. Not through the query, through the web form. So if I go to online, web form, search and manage, Thanks everybody for staying with me. I know, like I said, time is money, and I could probably do this all day long. Just saying, probably. I do love Charity Engine, so thank you again for staying with me. Right?
I think you could.
I could.
I
Bree could tell you. Bree will tell you. Bree's like, Brian, stop,
no.
stop. That's enough. That's enough. I can't take anymore. I can't take anymore. It's true. It's true. Okay, so I'm going to go to this donation form. I want to show you the concept of the custom tokens through the web form. Okay, and the custom token through the web form is like this layout section. Layout section. So every field here, every field has a custom token behind it that we can use in the receipt. Okay, so if it's going to be, let's say, the amount, this is bad. We're going to do like your information, right? And we're like, oh, I want to put the person's phone number that they entered on the form. I want to put that on the receipt, right? This is going to be the one they entered on the form on the receipt. All right, so I'll edit this. I'm doing it again. I'll edit this. Yeah, now I'm getting upset at myself, guys, at myself. Guys and gals. Okay, great. The form field is here and up. If I go to Developer tab, the element ID, this is a token that can be used on your receipting. How do you use it? You're simply going to copy it, and then you're going to add it to the, I'm going to create it down here. You're going to add it like this, bracket, bracket, token, bracket, bracket. If you add that to your web form receipt, it's going to show up with what they put on the form in this field. A lot of organizations want that, right? They're asking specific questions that they want the people to see in the receipt, and we do not have system tokens for it. This is how you're going to get them out. Okay, I'm not going to finish this and go through this, but you should be able to visualize that this is creating a custom token from this element ID. And again, you're not going to put it here, you're going to put it in your receipt. They are one-time tokens, okay, because they're coming from the form. So whoever fills out the form that one time, I'm able to capture that data and add it because it's passing through the form at that point. Once it's laid down on the transaction, the tokens don't make any sense. What I'm saying is you can't go back and try to receipt somebody who came through the form with the customs. The customs are a one-time pass-through only. We can go through that at a later date as well. But I wanted to show you that because it adds a lot of customization to the receipt along with your logos, your text, and your things like that. So, okay, that's all. That's all. Again, I could just go on and on, on and on. Listen, we want to take one last question. I could, and Bree, if you had anything in there, we can, and then we'll move on with our weekend. Yeah.
Sure. For those of our guests that may have a question that we're not able to get to, um, we can absolutely reach out to them afterwards with the information and articles and
I agree. Yeah. We can, we will.
yes, just
For
because
sure.
there are a couple, so I don't want anyone to think that their questions are not going to
I
be
love that, Bree.
addressed.
I love that, Bree. Thank you so much. Thank you.
Yes.
Okay, everybody, you heard it. You're going to hear from Bree.
Yes.
You're going to hear from Bree on these questions. Okay, excellent.
Personally.
Personally.
Okay, so our last one then, and then like I said, we'll definitely be reaching out to those we were unable to address, but we are very new to CharityEngine. I only have one template listed in this area, event form, nothing related to donations. How do we get the system templates?
It's filtering. I feel so in my
Okay.
gut, it's filtering, right? So we use sticky filtering. It's a helpful measure because most of the time people are doing a dedicated job. So when they go to transactions, they're there to run like the weekly transactions report. So we save their filtering so that they can quickly click the search and get the criteria they're looking for. I'm thinking in my gut, you have some filters on that. So if I go to design and messages and templates, it was the class filter that we clicked to see the system templates, right? Class. So class difference between system and custom then. So if I click system to highlight that and I click search with this, I should see that. And I don't know if we can get a real-time response on that or not, if that saved that or fixed that, if that person's still around. If it did not, we'll catch up with you and
Okay.
let you know. Okay, awesome. Awesome. Great. I love this. Thank everybody so much. It was perfect. Perfect, perfect, perfect. Bree is going to collect up the questions. We're going to send the recording. I don't think there's a survey on this one. I don't think we asked for a survey on this one. But if you could, right before we leave here, anybody, if you've already done it, wonderful. But since you're here today, you have the opportunity to chime in on what we're going to do next. So if you want to do that as you're leaving here, you can do that, and just let us know, and then we'll compile that, and we'll actually reach out to you personally and let you know that we're going to address it here so that everybody else can see it as well. So thank you so much, everybody. Have a great weekend. I don't know how to end this thing if anybody else does, but that's my ending there. Thank you so much.